Good morning, Camels, and welcome to Wake Up CU. I'm Taylor Deckert, and here with me is Gray Barnhill.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wake Up CU. We have a great show to get to, but first, Taylor, what did you do over the weekend?
So over the weekend, we went to go work as a production crew for a little retreat called Ignite, and it was nothing like I expected it because when I think of retreat, I think of like retreat center, maybe a convention center, and no, it was at a camp in the middle of the woods.
You guys, this was so fun. This is a picture
there's
of everyone from Campbell that went. We were out in the woods. This was Taylor's first time
Y'all
outside.
notice I have flip-flops on.
It was so hilarious the whole time. I was killing it because, you know, I'm in the woods all the time because I'm a Boy Scout. It's what I do. But it was so funny. It was so funny. It was great.
The
food
food was great. The
food was so good. Farm to table, right?
Yes, so it was farm to table,
really
and
good.
everything was homemade. Like the desserts were homemade, the salad dressings were homemade. It was just the breakfast, the coffee.
The sausage was really good. It had like some maple syrup or something in it.
That's what I didn't.
I know
like
you
was the
didn't like it, but
sausage.
I loved it. I thought it was so good.
And there was a lot of really cool speakers and facilitators there, and we got to really know them on a personal level during all of our interviews, and you got to know the campers a lot too. We have one coming on as our special guest today because he attended it, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about what he's doing on campus later.
Yeah, it should be good. So we'll talk more about the retreat a little bit later, but now let's jump into our hot topics.
So this has been going around for a little bit now. If you haven't seen, there was a gymnast from Auburn University. Her name was Samantha, and she was making her pass at the regionals, attempting a double front handspring with a blind landing, which means like you're landing backwards, you can't see where you're landing. And she made the landing so hard, she fell to the mat, bending her legs backward like a Barbie, like they should not be bending. And in the end, she broke both of her knees. Like, the video is out there, and it's like viewer discretion's advised, and so we don't have the video here with us, but it
hurts to watch.
It was a very unnatural move, and I used to do gymnastics, and so did my brother, and so like watching that, I was like, oh. But the reason I'm talking about it today, my roommate was friends with her in high school, and I was just like,
no way.
Like that's a small world. But it's just, your legs don't move like that. So
no,
it's
just, really, really bad.
Just imagine your legs bend this way. They went
like,
this way.
I just can't deal with that. And speaking of small world, our very own Aunt Becky is in some big trouble.
She is. The Full House star, who last month was charged with conspiracy to commit mail fraud and honest service mail fraud, has now been charged in a second indictment with a commitment to fraud and money laundering. And not only is that, there are 16 other cases that families have been involved with that they're looking into.
A press release from the Department of Justice said that 16 parents involved in the college admissions scandal were charged today in Boston, and a second superseding indictment with conspiring to commit fraud and money laundering in connection with the scheme to use bribery to cheat on college entrance exams and to facilitate their children's admission to these selective colleges and universities as reported athletic recruits.
Let your kids get into college on their own. That's the plain and simple way you gotta just.
I agree 100%. 100%, I agree with that. Also, like, come on, Aunt Becky, what are you doing with your life? You know?
Yeah. And there was another Felicity Huffman.
Huffman.
She's also in a lot of trouble, but not as big as Aunt Becky.
Lori Loughlin. I'm so disappointed, you know?
So tell me about these ACM awards.
Yeah, so the American Country Music Awards were this past weekend, and a lot was going on. You should have watched.
I know. I think I'm going to watch it back on like Hulu, or my TV recorded it.
So there were some really good performances. People were doing duets with other country stars. It was like crazy.
I did see Maren Morris up there.
Yeah?
I did see
Yeah,
a clip
she
of
killed
that.
it.
So,
I saw a thing on
she's
Twitter
so
that
good.
also said that no one knew who Maren Morris was, like a picture of Maren Morris. And it was like, when Maren Morris wins this award, and somebody was like, who is that? I've never seen her before.
Well,
it was funny.
She dyes her hair frequently. She when she first came out into the country world, she was brunette, and then she went like bleach blonde, and then she went back to like this brunette, and then she had pink hair for a little bit, and now she's like bleach like white blonde. So
Yeah,
she's
it's weird.
constantly changing her hair color, and I mean, I think her music's great.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, so while the event was going on, have you ever heard the term seat filler?
Yes.
Okay,
When someone
so-
just goes in and sits where
Right.
an artist while they're performing or going to
Right. So there are people that work at these events that go and take the seats of the artists while they're going up on stage or something. So when the camera goes across the crowd, it
There's
doesn't
not
look like
empty
there's empty
seats.
seats.
Makes
So
sense.
Kelly Clarkson posted this on Twitter, and she talked about how this was the funniest thing that had ever happened to her. She said that there was someone that thought that she was a seat filler at the ACMs, and, which is just funny because
It's Kelly Clarkson.
like it's Kelly Clarkson. She's a judge on The Voice. Like, why do you not know what's going on?
Yeah.
So
Something else that I saw during the ACM Awards, at least after, is that Jason Aldean won the Artist of the Decade, which is the biggest honor other than Entertainer of the Year. And it was passed down from George Strait. So it's just amazing just to see country music evolve and like who could it be in the next 10 years.
and I know you're a big country music fan.
country
I love country music. Some people don't, but I think it's really good.
So there's someone coming back on the scene who hasn't set a song out in a while.
You're
but,
right. There is someone coming
who
back
is
on the
that?
scene way back in the day, had an achy breaky heart. Good old Billy Ray Cyrus coming back out of the world. I think we have some pictures of his mullet back in the day because I wanted to talk about it. I think it's so funny.
Oh, Lord.
Business in the front, party in the back.
There's actually a guy walking around on campus who has a nice mullet right now.
Well,
Have you seen
and
him?
so he did a remix to the Old Town Road song. And that meme, I don't know if we can show it again. It says business in the front, horses in the back, because that's what the song says. And I just think it's the funniest thing.
That's interesting. Definitely go and listen to it. Gray played me a little bit of it right before we came back.
in the back. I don't know. Okay, it's funny. It's a good song. You need to look it up. It's really good. If you haven't heard it, it's funny.
So, Gray, tell me why you woke up at 6 o'clock this morning.
I did wake up at 6 a.m. this morning, and for all you people out there who are not fans of Campbell University, you too should have woken up at 6 a.m. this morning because this is
Da-da-da!
a coveted orange Easter egg right here. It says Easter egg hunt 2019.
Because that's today.
It's today, and this is what you're looking for as you go around campus. A lot of people have put out fake eggs or eggs from past years that are different colors. If you want a t-shirt, you're looking for an orange
So
egg.
they're all orange.
They're all orange.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Good to
So
know. Good to know.
be sure you look for this. Inside, there is a little silly putty thing, but also a piece of paper that says, congrats, you found a t-shirt egg. Stop by Bryan Hall Conference Room starting at 10 a.m. to pick up your t-shirt. So right after the show, I'm going to go get mine. But this is what you're looking for. You have to have this to be able to get the t-shirt.
This
If
did
you
not open.
do not have the paper inside the egg, then someone else has already found it, and you cannot receive a t-shirt. So be sure to do that.
Freshman year, you found 2 of them, and you
I
gave
did
it
find
to
2
me.
of them. Yep.
I was so happy because I've never found one of those.
Yeah.
I've
So
always found the fake eggs.
it's a tradition that my roommate and I and a couple other of our friends, we get up super early, go get an egg, and then we go to Waffle House for breakfast. So that's what we did today.
Get some scrambled eggs.
Yep.
So speaking of orange, what else have you got for us?
So our producer came in today with an orange Coke. There's been a ton of commercials about it, but now is the moment of truth.
My dad has been raving about this, saying that it's actually good.
This orange vanilla Coke. We have it, and we can talk about it. 0 sugar, so, healthy.
Coke Zero is my favorite.
We're going to see how this goes.
Shout out to all the Coke Zero drinkers out there.
Smells like regular Coke, just to tell you. It's not bad.
I'm going to pour it in my mug.
It
I'm
tastes-
sick, so.
It does. It tastes like a creamsicle, for sure.
Ooh, it's bubbly. Yeah, fun fact, we don't
I don't
actually
know.
keep stuff in here. Sometimes it's water.
Sometimes it's just
Sometimes they
empty.
just sit here because we're too lazy to go find water.
But I mean, I think it's not bad. I don't know if I could drink like a whole can. It's kind of sweet for me.
I don't taste the orange. I taste
At
all
all?
the vanilla.
I feel like it's more of an
I
aftertaste.
I smell the orange. Oh, it's an aftertaste. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, see?
Whoa.
Isn't that weird?
Caffeine.
Anyway, that's all we have for our hot topics. We'll be right after this commercial break. Welcome back, everyone. Today, here with me, I've got Jonathan Molai. He is here with Campbell Create to talk to us. So earlier in the show, we mentioned the retreat that you went on. Yeah. Tell us what happened at the Ignite retreat.
Right. So the Ignite retreat was this amazing experience that we had this weekend where we got to go with about 100 other students from all different other schools who traveled from as far away as Berea College to Eflin, North Carolina, at it was actually Camp Chestnut Retreat Center in Eflin, North Carolina. And basically what we got to do was engage in an experience where it was unlike any other retreat or experience I've been to before, where we got to focus on building connection before we actually converse and build content with people. We got to focus on developing things as social entrepreneurs in a way where it was not necessarily, it didn't even feel like, like we were re-engineering the fabric of our being, but we were changing the way that we emphasize soft skills and how those skills can go into making you a better person, which can go into making you a better leader, which can go into making your project a better thing for the community and achieving your goal. It was just a wholesome experience all around. We got to meet so many people and I had time.
Yeah, being there just like working the event was really interesting.
Yeah.
I was able to kind of watch you guys work and come up with your ideas on building whatever you might be doing, and there were so many people that had so many great ideas. The leaders of the retreat, a lot of them had started nonprofit organizations and small businesses trying to kind of grow and help the community, which is really great.
Yeah. Honestly, everybody there, most of them there actually had projects that they had already started, students. And if they didn't have projects, they had problems that they cared about deeply. And so there were 3 tracks. There was a personal track, the problems track, and the project track. And you also had the ability to switch if you felt that you needed to. There was complete freedom in terms of being able to explore your path and be able to see what skills from those workshops helped you achieve your goals. And essentially, the focus of it was to build leadership and to build social entrepreneurs into a more world-ready product that everyone else can appreciate. However, during the experience, it felt like you were just being a human being, connecting with others. And I think that they really, the Sullivan Foundation, which is what the Ignite Retreat was created by, the Sullivan Foundation really, they do their things differently. It's like they promote thinking out of the box, but I like to say that there was no box. They kind of tore that whole box up and thought everywhere else. It was amazing because by seeing what you could achieve just by being a human being, by connecting with others, by emphasizing the goals and the effects of your project, you could really think about the end, the process and where you wanted to go as a result. And so what I'm trying to say is essentially that they have a different way of doing things in terms of achieving the same problems that we have been trying to solve forever. They have a new innovative, disruptive type of approach to these things. And I can tell you that the value that I gained from being able to meet such successful and driven young people like myself really made me feel like I belonged, and that that there is a lot of potential in the future generation of America to be leaders, to really care about the issues that matter, not just to talk about them for when it counts, you know?
I agree.
It comes from the heart.
Yeah, I agree 100%. The people that were there had so many good ideas. They were building prototypes and putting their organizations together and building connections to be able to grow that and that kind of thing. And there were so many people that were ready to pitch ideas. And at the end of the weekend, there were a couple of people that won some money from the Sullivan Foundation to help grow their organizations and change the world for the better.
Right, right. And so you mentioned pitching. One of the things that we did was nonstop pitching, basically being able to take our idea or concern that we cared about and become comfortable with talking about it to other people. And so my group, I went with a few other students from Campbell University, and we got to discuss our pitch, which was Campbell Create, which is essentially an initiative that we have created, that we've started actually in inspiration in the footsteps of the Sullivan Foundation's field trip, which we did in March, the first week of March, and we've been on that momentum since then. And so we got to pitch it. Basically what it is, it's an initiative that we've created on campus to create art from students for students. And it's not just for campus, but it's two-pronged, for campus and the community. And essentially what it is it invokes the idea of creative placemaking, where it invites people, both students and community members alike, to engage with the community, since we are in a rural community that we have noticed evaporates of students and just becomes sort of starved of interaction after 5 and on the weekends, because students choose to go to bigger cities out in the area. So we realized that if you have art that looks inviting and that is beautiful, it encourages people to come into the area and spend more time, whether it be to take pictures or to look around and spend money on the businesses and invest in the community. That's a really important thing and part of community development and building a sense of place. And that's what we want, because if you have a sense of place, you get to have more pride in where you are, and you become more engaged and invested with your community. Essentially what that boils down to is us, a group of students, about 7 or 8 of us now. We've begun to make connections on campus, and we actually had our first prototype. Basically, we set up in the library all last week, and we had a blank canvas that said, "Draw your purpose," because our motto for Campbell was leading with purpose, so we thought that'd be a nice spin. And by the end of the week, we had the entire canvas filled up with students' expressions via writing and drawing about just different things that they cared about, things that motivated them, and symbols that represented who they were, which we thought was really amazing, because it showed us that we have a lot of social and cultural capital here that we can tap into. And once we do that, we can be able to emphasize the cultures and subcultures and the richness of the community, you know. And people will say, we have art on campus like the bronze camel outside Convocation Center and the statue of J.A. Campbell, but that tells us that we are Camels. We are more. We have subcultures, we have organizations, we have a rich, nuanced, different network of students from different backgrounds that we want to show. And so essentially what this is it's a very new initiative that we're trying to get off the ground, and right now we're in the funding stage trying to get as much capital as we can to invest. But we've also been approached by community members, say in Coates, who've approached us because they're excited about what we've done. And we find that we're building more and more of a momentum and critical mass because people are inspired by our vision. And so they've asked us to repaint or paint new murals in Coates Park. And we thought we've thrown about ideas because you know, this whole Sullivan Ignite retreat helped foster that creative thinking and ideas, and how that can translate into practical ideation and results. But essentially, you know, we were thinking, you know, what if we had Camels on this mural wearing coats in Coates Park? You know, like I just think that's a really crazy idea, but it you know, it's really creative. And if you're driving by, you might just be motivated to stop and take a picture and then spend some time there, you know? And that type of model for inviting people in to solve the problem of community engagement is something that most rural areas face, especially here in Harnett County. And that's whatever we can do to make a change is what our goal is. And so we're just really happy to see where this is going and really inspired by the students and their support through this. So
yeah, I definitely agree. And how can people get involved?
Yeah, so we do have an Instagram. It's at Campbell Create. We also, so you can go ahead and follow that. We also are working on creating a more public presence on campus and in the community through creating more prototypes, through engaging in creating art on campus. And the whole purpose of the art, like I mentioned before, is to invite people to engage with it. So we'll be thinking about doing more things in Sailor Park, and essentially you'll be hearing more from us in the future. Essentially, go ahead and follow that Instagram. We do have meetings every week, and it just spreads through word of mouth. So it is something that students can submit ideas to, and we'll have a council of faculty members and students who will essentially screen, what these ideas are, and we'll be able to eventually put your idea up on campus, and so we're just now getting started, but anyhow we can spread the word. Campbell Now is a great platform for being able to spread this word, and I appreciate you guys having me on the show.
Yeah, of course. We're really glad that you came. I think Campbell Create is a great organization, a great initiative to try to get started on campus. So is there anything else you'd like to tell us about it?
Yeah. I think, if you have an idea and you want to make a change in the community, you should go and investigate the Sullivan Foundation and look into actually going on Ignite retreats and engaging with the people who went and asking them about it, because it takes a creative mind to achieve a new and disruptive innovation type solution. And I think that if you want to be able to get on board with us, just reach out to either me or Amber Merklinger or any of us. You'll see us at innovation challenges, at pitch events that we'll have here on campus with the Lundy Fennerman School of Business, and we'll be making moves. You will see us in the future.
Yeah, I believe you guys actually won the innovation challenge.
Yeah, we did. Campus. Yeah. That was it was a great time being able to be in a sphere where we got to see other young entrepreneurs and people who cared about the community and campus, and just being able to hear all those ideas being pitched at one event. It was a real honor being able to be in that presence and be able to get win that, and it's helped us in funding and being able to just gain that more momentum. So if you like what we're doing, follow us on Campbell Create on Instagram, and just stay tuned. We have this, and spread the word. We really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, well, Jonathan, thanks so much for coming on our show today.
Hey, anytime.
It's been good, and we're gonna head over to Taylor for our News Minute.
This week at 7 p.m., Campbell's theater program is putting on the spring drama. The title is The Best of Enemies, and you have 4 opportunities to see the drama be performed. This is a great opportunity for students still looking for connections credit. Enjoy the show. Here's your chance to visit Washington, D.C. with your friends for only $60. The Campus Activities Board is heading up on April 12th at 3 p.m. and will be making their return on April 15th. This will be a fun, informational weekend, so make sure you sign up. Campbell University's Rugby Club is doing a fundraiser with Good and Healthy in Lillington. One ticket is $10. To get your ticket, you can contact a rugby player or DM on Instagram at Campbell University Rugby Club. This fundraiser will be on April 14th from 2:30 to 6:30 p.m. On April 17th at 8 p.m., Hunter Hayes will be performing in the Convocation Center for the spring concert. Student tickets are free as long as they present their student ID. It is also open to the public, but only students can get a free ticket. Tickets are available at the desk in Oasis. That's all for your News Minute. Here's Isaac with your Sports Corner.
Welcome to the Campbell Sports Corner. I'm Isaac Ray. The Camels have a big week ahead of them this week, and men's tennis team will be kicking it off this week today at 2 o'clock as they take on Radford with the Big South regular season title at stake. The Camels enter this matchup having won their last 6 outings and 12 out of their last 13. Campbell's only loss in league play this year came last month at Gardner-Webb, which still has matches remaining against Hampton and Longwood. Junior Bastien Huon leads the Camels with a 13-3 record in dual matches, while Rafael Calzi and Gerard Sola are both 6-1 in league action. Campbell Baseball will be hosting the UNCW Seahawks tonight at Jim Perry Stadium at 6 o'clock. The Camels went 3-1 in play last week with a win over NC Central, then a 2-1 series win over Gardner-Webb over the weekend. The Camels continued their winning ways last night, demolishing the Elon Phoenix by a score of 15-7, improving the team's record to 21-11, and the Camels' 10-2 record in Big South play has them in first place in the conference standings. Make sure to keep up with all things Campbell Athletics by following @GoCamels on all social media. This has been your Campbell Sports Corner. I'm Isaac Ray. We'll be back after this.
Thank you for joining us on today's show. If you happen to find us around campus, the channel streams to 96-9, and I've been getting Snapchats from my friends who have been like, "Oh, I saw you in the gym," or "Oh, I saw you outside at the elevator." I'm like, "What do you mean you saw me?" And so we love hearing that you're finding our show around campus. So if you see a random TV, ask for the remote, change it to 96-9.
And then send us pictures of you watching on Twitter @CampbellCUTV. You might be able to find yourself on the show. You never know what could happen. Anyway, we're going to be right back here next week with another wonderful show. We've only got 2 left after this.
Which is so sad.
It's so scary, so sad. The semester's almost over. Push forward. And that's another episode of Wake Up, See You.